I'm Al McFarlane, Mall of America for the A. Philip Randolph Institute National Education Conference. And one of the things that I wanted to apprise our community about was this important event happening in the community in North Minneapolis tomorrow. The A. Philip Randolph Institute, with partners, is presenting a special project that enables parents, families to recognize the signs of substance abuse in teenagers. One of the organizers of this collaboration is Fred Mason, who is, Fred, are you a director of the organization?
I'm a member of the national board.
Of the national board.
Of the A. Philip Randolph Institute.
That's correct, and we've interviewed before, and thank you so much. So thank you for what you're doing. Explain what's happening tomorrow in North Minneapolis at the Minneapolis Urban League.
Okay, as a prologue to that, let me say that drug addiction, drug abuse in our community has a long history. For too many years, the solution for the establishment was to criminalize our folks and put them in jail. That has not solved the problem, but it's also created more problems in our community because it meant the loss of a mother, loss of a father. So we know that history. When drug addiction, substance abuse was perceived as primarily a black problem, that was the answer.
Jail.
They declared a war on drugs. Now, when we see drug abuse growing in Appalachia, in predominantly white communities among construction workers and so forth, folks are approaching it as the health issue that it was back then. So we know that history, we know that that was an unjust characterization, but now we still have a responsibility to use whatever resources are available for us to get messages out in our community. I have a 52-year-old son who has been suffering from the evils of addiction for about 30-some years. So I know how that reverberates throughout a family. We have a responsibility to be proactive in this regard. So back to your question, the event is that we're going to set up this trailer to simulate a teenager's bedroom. And we're going to take adults, parents, grandparents on a tour of this trailer to look for signs of substance abuse. We will also be giving out kits for the proper disposal of prescription medicine. In Baltimore City, where I'm from, the age of first use with drugs is around 12. It's around 12 years old. And it doesn't begin with cocaine, crack, or heroin, or even marijuana. Oftentimes, it begins with mom or daddy taking some medication, whether it's Percocet or something else, and they don't use all of it. It's in the medicine cabinet, right? And the kid ends up starting with that. So what this is intended to do is to show signs of substance abuse, but also to educate people in our community how we can be proactive in doing that. I run into too many families that are actually surprised when they find out that their kid is now on drugs. I mean, using hard drugs. And they say, I didn't know. So what this is intended to do on Saturday at the Urban League is provide an opportunity for us to begin that discussion and using whatever available resources to do that. So please come out, take the tour, support this initiative so that we can become more proactive.
And it's from 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock at the Minneapolis Urban League at 2100 Plymouth Avenue. We all know where that is, corner of Plymouth and Penn. It'll include presentations by Senator Bobby Joe Champion, our senator from North Minneapolis, Senator Jeff Hayden from South Minneapolis, Councilmember Jeremiah Ellison, and others. It's an interactive trailer, again, to simulate a teenager's bedroom. You're going to learn the hidden signs of substance abuse. Well, let me turn to Dr. Peter Hayden. Dr. Peter Hayden is a champion of cultural consciousness and awareness of cultural solutions for our community that is impacted by substance abuse. Dr. Hayden is the founder and CEO of Turning Point, and Turning Point is a legacy institution. His leadership is important here and across the country. Dr. Hayden, welcome again.
Thanks, Al. It's always good to be here. You know, Turning Point is a first aid.
Talk to the camera for me, yes.
Turning Point is the first aid for our community. What we've done for over 45 years is served individuals from a cultural specific way, because we want people to understand that only you can take care of you. When I got a call from Fred Mason, it was unbelievable. It was like a hidden brother that I had been looking for. And once he told me what he was doing, and then Steve Belton has also called, we jumped on it, because this issue is not a Minnesota issue. It's all over the country issue. And so I'm so glad to be here just to talk about, and to be asked by Steve and Fred to put this trailer in Minneapolis on Plymouth Avenue where people can see what's going on. Now, we're going to have food there. We're going to have drinks in terms of water. We're going to just have a community festival. We're going to have a DJ there. And all those things are being provided by the A. Philip Randolph Institute. To come into our city and feel comfortable enough to be a part of it, I just want to thank you so much. And the last thing I want to say, Al, is that it's important that you and your station be here for us, as you have always been. The young people need our support. The support is happening with the A. Philip Randolph Institute. They have come here. They brought many kids from either the country or the state, our state, to be a part of and to learn. And so I thank you again for what you've done, and I also want you to know that we welcome you here. This is Peter, so Peter can welcome you, can I? Thank you so much.
Well, Dr. Hayden, Peter Hayden, hang on. You know, you have been a force and a guiding light. You and I both directors of the Minneapolis Urban League.
That's right.
We've been on this battleground together for a long time. Both natives of Kansas City, Missouri.
That's right.
So we go back. But we have a sense of the importance of organizing our community.
That's right.
I think it's critical for us to really welcome and lift up the power of the A. Philip Randolph Institute.
That's right.
It's a marvelous resource, and it's a storied, historic, legendary, strength-building organization for our community.
That's correct.
So I think you and I are both excited to be elders in Minnesota.
That's right.
Inviting this organization.
That's
here.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And so, Fred, I can listen to you all day, but you've introduced a new friend to us. His name is Marchel Smiley, and he's the president emeritus of, I'm not sure what AFRAM, what does AFRAM stand for? The African Caucus of SEIU. Pass the microphone to him. And Brother Marchel Smiley, I know that you have a commitment as well to young people, and your organization, Fred was saying, has been responsible for ensuring engagement. Talk about what SEIU's vision and sort of attitude has been in representing expanding opportunity for our people.
Well, we understand that as we age and mature, it's very important that we prepare the next generation to be able to step up. It's important that they know our history. This A. Philip Randolph, the person and the organization, has a glorious history advocating for the advancement of people of African descent. And it's important that our young people are aware of his many contributions that he's made. Now, this weekend, this is our 50th education conference. And to have 50 straight years without interruption of educational conference in and of itself is an outstanding accomplishment. under the Fred Mason and our President Cleola Brown, they had a focus on involving youth. A lot of African American national organizations do not put enough attention on focusing on youth. But under Cleola leadership and Fred direction, our organization has decided that it's very, very important that we bring these youth in to get them involved about the labor movement, knowing about A. Philip Randolph, what he's done, and to encourage them to be all that they could be. So this weekend, we have over 165 youth from about 18 different states, all the way from Florida, all the way to Georgia, Mississippi, California, New Jersey.
And here at no expense to themselves.
No expense to them, right?
That's amazing.
Right?
That's
and
amazing.
Fred directly, primarily, raised the money, asking donations, and many organizations and individuals donated money to cover the cost, because we estimate it's about $3,000 per young person, and we got 165 of them here. Right, and they housing, they transportation, they food has all been provided. Right, and this is a glorious and a great thing, and we want to obviously we are very, very proud of A. Philip Randolph Institute and its commitment to these young people, and these young people are very receptive because many times the adults just don't talk to them.
Right.
And they've been looking for somebody to take the time to just engage them, not try to tell them what to do, but to engage them, to listen to them, to get from them what it is that's on their minds and the things that they like to do in their lives. So to have 165 young people,
let me tell you, I was here this morning watching that group of 165 kids walk through here into the plenary session. Orderly, organized, intent, focused. They made me proud. And so I just want to testify for you. I want to affirm the wisdom of your decision and the appropriateness of the strategy of engagement that you have undertaken. It works because it's evident in seeing these young people here today.
I just want to add one other thing which I think is important about that also is that originally when we started to engage the youth, the focus was on like teenagers, high-level teenagers of 16, 17, going into college, 21, 22. And that was the focus because they was, we looked at them as the ones. But Fred has expanded this thing. We got 8-year-olds. We got some kids, 8, 9, 10. I mean, they walked in there the other day, and we got some, third graders and fifth graders that's a part of this. And so it's even not just we engaging the youth, but now we even going deeper into the youth to expose them much earlier.
You know, it makes all the sense in the world because all of us have grands and kids that at age 3, 4, and 5 know more about the iPad than we do.
That's right.
They know their way around. They know they have access to the entire universe. And if we don't direct that, then it's on us. That is plain failure. But I think this is the right way and the right thing. And we recognize that the genius is developing, and we have a responsibility to direct it. Yeah. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And let me remind people, Peter, let me ask you, Dr. Hayden, why don't you one more time invite people to North Minneapolis tomorrow? This is our neighborhood where you and I are from.
Hi. Tomorrow from 11 to 4, the A. Philip Randolph Institute will be live and in person at 2100 Plymouth Avenue North. We will provide you with food, water, and most of all, education in terms of what young people are doing regarding drug and chemical abuse. Now, this is so important because too many of us run around talking about the kids are out of control. This is a great opportunity for you now to understand that maybe it's us, the adults, who are out of control. Get an understanding. We're so happy that both of these young men were here today. We thank you so much for coming to Minnesota because I would not have known about this unless somebody called me from out of town, because no one called me from in town to tell me this great piece was going on. Again, welcome, gentlemen, ladies, and all the delegates of the A. Philip Randolph Institute. Thank you, Al.
And Fred, why don't you mention the sponsors? Let's give them credit. And before you do, I just want to say that among the guest speakers tomorrow, I'd always be remiss in saying I call him the senior member of the dynamic duo in the Minnesota State Senate, Dr. Hayden's son, Senator Jeff Hayden, and his colleague, my representative, Bobby Joe Champion. Senator Bobby Champion will be there tomorrow. Yes. But I always want to commend you. I smile when I see you because Jeff is doing such great work for the state of Minnesota, for the people of Minnesota and our community. And that great work comes from the direction from his father, from you. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And as a national education conference, we want our 600 and some delegates to have something to take back to their community, something that can probably be replicated. And that's what we're doing here in Minneapolis, partnering with the Urban League, Turning Point, Code 3, and the other organizations to bring this trailer here, have our members and have members of your community tour this trailer so that they won't have to wake up one day and say, I didn't know that my son or daughter was doing that, and the police are at the door, they're on the way to jail. We're trying to prevent that. This is about the survival of us. This is a health care issue, and please come out on Saturday. We will have the trailer at 2100 Plymouth Avenue in North Minneapolis, open from 11 until 4.
Gentlemen, thank you all so much. I'm Al McFarlane. We'll see you later on today. And obviously, we'll be on site tomorrow morning at the Minneapolis Urban League. We'll see you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.